nice to have you with us. It is important, of course.
I've managed to survive a weekend away with family and friends in Belfast, so I'm less infused than I was yesterday.
Right, so you did it, and I can only imagine what a right Royal Muldoon-based knees-up that was over the weekend.
Oh, my goodness me, it was fantastic.
And you've lived to tell the tale. Super.
And so has Belfast.
Indeed, that's right.
We spoke about the troubles, but we didn't know we would cause so much trouble whilst we were there.
Well, I'm going to be searching the Belfast forums online to find out more a little later. Well, let's start then with October 7th, and it's worth reminding ourselves, bearing in mind this was the most awful of terrorist attacks. It was unprecedented for Israel. 1,200 people dead. The legacy continues. Hostages still not released. Let's remind ourselves, though, of what the Prime Minister at the time, that was Rishi Sunak, said in his statement just after this happened.
I've just spoken with Prime Minister Netanyahu to assure him of the UK's steadfast support as Israel defends itself against these appalling attacks. We will do everything that we can to help. Terrorism will not prevail.
Well, terrorism won't prevail. Of course, you'd expect any leader, Claire, to say something like that. But hatred of Jews and Israel absolutely has prevailed and got worse.
And you're right, and the statistics will back that up. But we can't forget either that criticism of the state of Israel can sometimes be confused with anti-Semitism. And to be fair, a lot of them aren't very good at that, of making the impartial difference between them. So although the report crimes of anti-Semitism has risen, we don't know if part of that is actually conflated by the criticism of the state of Israel and indeed Netanyahu. I don't think Netanyahu has got a very, very good track record of protecting the Jewish people in the state of Israel. I do think that Israel has been used as a buffer, military-wise, economically-wise and everything, by the West, and I don't think that's fair for them either. But to see the statistic you just said of 1 in 20 18 to 24-year-olds in this country not supporting Israel and not supporting things that are happening and are more pro-Palestine. Shall we just use that term just for clarification? Pro-Palestine would be to use, you know, in support of the attacks, in support of whatever's happened, less so than the attacks of Hamas, who are, in my view, a terrorist organisation. They've lost all legitimacy as a political party and should not be referred to such, in my view. But this is a right royal mess. You only have to look at the UEA countries, who they don't want the Palestinians as refugees either, nor does the border in Egypt. And I keep going back to these borders, these geographical borders. They are so important in this, for want of a better word, implosion of war, implosion of what people think. And it's just stoked the fire of both anti-Semitism and people that are pro-Palestine. A lot of Palestinian people are not Hamas supporters. They didn't. I don't think they actually expected Hamas to do what they did.
Well, they have no choice, of course, because that is now that's their government, and that's they are the rulers, and it is a terrorist base to governing that country, of course. But you're right on that. Nobody really talks about. I mean, we talk about the border with Israel. Very rarely do people talk about the border with Egypt, for goodness' sake. And it literally is next door to it. Where is the humanity? I mean, Israel will say, look, we've opened up the lines for assistance. But clearly those countries don't want to import what could be a very dicey situation for them either.
Exactly. And now Hezbollah in Lebanon, we've got Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. It's just going to open up again and again and again. And again, you do not have a leader of Muslims that can tell people, look, just don't do that. It's all these factions of these faiths, of these schisms. Man-made, and it's pride, aim and control. And the sooner that's got rid of, which obviously it's clearly not, but if it wasn't there, then it wouldn't be happening. If you could sit down and have a decent conversation with people, it wouldn't happen. I'm still hoping for a ceasefire. I'm still hoping that people can sit round a table and what are the United Nations doing? what are all the rest of the government's doing. I think our government is being completely awful. Keir Starmer has just come out again to support Israel, obviously, from the initial attack last year from October the 7th. He's got enough going around in Downing Street, for heaven's sake. Yeah. He's now employed a BTEC, Dominic Cummings, and Morgan McSweeney. Then you've got the US elections going off as well. I mean, really, everyone, I think the Middle Eastern countries have taken their have taken their eye off what's happening. And I think they are really happy that we have got all these geopolitical issues going on at the moment, and they're just getting on with what they have, because they've already been funded by us. They've already got the arms from us and from the West. So basically, it's an open ground to say, who shall we take target at today? And isn't that horrible?